So I have this problem that I think a lot of quilters have where I have all these extra fabric scraps from projects that are kind of too small to use for anything major, like any kind of like patchwork quilts, but are precious and deserve to be used. And I just want to save them from the landfill and from just being wasted. And so I have bags upon bags of scraps. I've started sorting them into different colors, and I have this idea where I could maybe take them and turn them into new textiles. So I have two different options or kind of methods that I've been exploring. One of them is I've taken tulle, which I've never sewn with before, and sandwiched a bunch of scrap pieces in between two pieces of tulle and then sewed them down on the machine, just taking like a running stitch on my sewing machine and going around and around and around in like kind of a spiral. I really like this one because it captures kind of like threads and like loose bits and kind of contains them within this new kind of fabric swatch. You can use either side, the front or the reverse or whatever. So I'm basically just trying to like sandwich in all those threads and like little loose bits without needing to actually take them, press them, join them together and create like a patchwork. I don't know, I just want to make a textile out of scrap. I have one other option. I got this material that is like a backing for, I think like applique for like people who do like actual kind of like hand sewing, stitching. But you can take this, cut it out, and then pin a bunch of fabric to it, sew the fabric down, and this dissolves in water. It just disappears. So after you're done kind of sewing it all together, you're left with kind of like applique, scrappy patch of fabric. This one, I didn't do the best job sewing this on the machine. It's still like pretty loose. There's like, you know, a couple like gaping little holes and stuff that I would fix. But if you were to sew this like really nicely, you could kind of create like a much sturdier kind of textile. These are kind of my two options that I'm thinking about. So yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so it looks like I actually can't start sewing until I pay the puppy tax, the puppy dinner tax. Dog food. Wait. Okay. Good girl. So I don't know if this is the most efficient way to cut this, but I'm thinking that I can just fold this kind of like base fabric over on itself into thirds and then use this 5x5 quilting ruler to just kind of chop it down into blocks. Yeah, this will be easier, I think. Just cut it into one big strip that is 5 inches across, and then I will chop it up into the little squares. This table is at such a perfect height to give me instant back pain, just leaning over it like this. I'm always so jealous of all of those people with their like beautiful, huge kind of custom workbenches, like not workbenches, work tables that they use for sewing stuff. One day. But right now it's just my tiny, rickety old dining table. So maybe chop chop like so. And then again, this gets added to our little excess pile. Did you clean the bathroom too?
I just cleaned the bottom of the tub.
Ooh. Oh, wow, it looks so much better. Will you show the camera? Like a beauty influencer, look how much better our tub looks.
I don't know if it looks better because you didn't see it before.
I don't know. How do you feel? What's your honest review? Do you think it was like just an okay transformation?
Well, I mean, like one side of the tub had like no sealant left, so it had to be done.
Okay.
But satisfying because it still looks kind of messy.
It's okay.
I try my best though.
I believe in you, and I think it looks great. I also just kind of like when you snap and just decide to do something.
Yeah, it was just like too gross to look at anymore.
Yeah.
You want to set me up with anything?
Yeah. My camera's dying, but I just really quickly wanted to capture this pro setup that Al's got so that they can watch the TV and press fabric for me at the same time. Thanks, Al.
Not on the rotary cutter. The microphone.
It's locked.
On the
It's locked.
blade.
The rotary cutter is locked. No one worry. It's been a rough couple days, but I'm back. I got a lot of work done. I'll probably change the camera angle so you can see it a little bit better. Greens, pinks, blues, kind of mustardy brown colors down at the bottom, and all my scraps there ready to go. I've got a ton of blue stuff left over. I have a lot more kind of like yellowy mustard stuff. And I also have all of the black scraps and all of the white scrap, because my vision now is maybe the front could be like a long checkerboard kind of like pattern of quilt blocks with just like a white muslin base or something really simple up against these really nicely textured, colorful panels. And then maybe the reverse could be just black and white, either in the textured kind of scrappy things or something. Basically, I just have so many white and black scrap. I think I should make some anyway. Even if I don't end up using them for this project, at least then I'll have used up this scrap material. That's the plan. All right. Yeah, that'll do. So I fear we've kind of hit like a critical mass of colored blocks where I think I need to start actually thinking about the front of the quilt and how many blocks there will be and what the design will be. Because my thinking originally was maybe I would just do a checkerboard of like a random assortment of colors, break these up throughout. My other idea was to take these like creamy whites and scrappy stuff and do the front with all textured scrappy blocks together in that kind of alternating pattern. That's kind of an idea. We've come far enough. A decision needs to be made. All right, it's go time. I have all my white squares done for the front, and I've got all of my kind of colored blocks for the front as well. And so I think it is time to lay them on the ground and figure out the orientation, the pattern, the exact kind of design that I'm looking for. Maybe starting from here. Oh, no, I didn't need you to jump up. I'm sorry. No, because now you're gonna walk over the quilt area, aren't you? And then I'll just start throwing down little white blocks as placeholders. I think this is cool. I like the way that this looks. It reminds me so much of when I would spend all this time in college watching Project Runway, and they would always have the unconventional challenge where they would be given a bunch of stuff that wasn't fabric to make outfits out of. And so often they'd have to like weave or sew or combine things together to like make a new textile out of like, you know, usually a bunch of like plastic, garbage, tarps, etc. But this kind of feels like the fabric version of that, of like creating a new textile just by how you like manipulate the material. Cool. Okay. I don't know, I feel like I like this. I mean, I was thinking that what I would do is lay it out and then I would spend all this time rearranging things and like rotating the blocks to see how I kind of liked them best. But I mean, in the interest of randomness, which is like how I've kind of been assembling all of these to begin with, I kind of think this is good. I think I should just roll with it. This should be the front. Come on down. What do you think?
Whoa, it's so cute.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you can't eat it.
Eat it.
Oh, no, girl, no. Indy, get out, go. You little critter. Run. It's nice out here. I've done a bunch of sewing while I was kind of off camera. I joined together the first and second columns of the quilt in rows so that I have these sections like this now that I can now kind of join together to create blocks. So I'll create like my first block here like this, and I will join that together with my second one, which I've kept organized, like so, and then piecing together the entire quilt that way. I'm really excited about this. I get really excited when I get to the stage of a project and I can start to see the quilt top coming together. And I honestly just kind of like this. Like I like making the top, having the vision, putting it together. I don't super love some of the other parts of quilting. Like I hand tie all of my quilts together to bind them instead of using like bias tape for binding for quilts. I usually just use whatever backing fabric I have and I fold it over on itself onto the top edge of quilt. That's kind of my MO, so don't be surprised if you start to see me get a little, I don't want to say lazy, but don't get surprised if I just start like whizzing through these last couple of steps to like make this thing real. But yeah, Indy, what do you think? Do you like it? She's indifferent. Okay, that's okay. I'm really excited. I think this is gonna be really cool, and I'll show you how beautiful my doggy is. Look at this. Oh, you're being blocked by the quilt, honey. No one can see you. No one can see you. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. This is good. This is good stuff. What do you think? Should I get quilting? Okay, sounds good. Okay, so I've got my muslin ironed, or at least as ironed as I'm gonna get it. And I've chopped it down to size, so I just have a little bit of space that I can kind of use to roll this over and create my binding. Okay, so when I last left you, I was quilting things together, and now it's too late and too dark, and so I'll film the rest tomorrow. But yeah, all that's left is the binding, like the bias tape perimeter of the quilt, and then it'll be done. Yay! It's done. I'm so happy with how it turned out. I think that it looks great. I finished folding over the muslin that was on the back to make the binding, and I added these little tabs for like easy hanging, and just put it on a dowel. And now it lives here in this like awkward space above our stairwell. And yeah, I couldn't be happier with how it turned out. If you live in the Hamilton area and you'd like to see this quilt and others in person, you can see it at the Patch Community Quilt Show that is happening outside in Corktown Park later in September. I'll include links and information down below. And I can't wait to see what I do next on this channel, what else I get up to. Probably some more sewing, maybe some thrift flips, maybe some mending and stuff for around the house. Who knows? But yeah, thank you for being here. I appreciate you and your time. And I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Bye-bye.